I don't have enough problems with multicast. Hi, my name is Corie on the Corie Sheppard Podcast. I thought it would be obvious, but my name is Corie here, and today I have with me Kit Israel. How are you going to?
Good.
You see how much pressure there is, man?
Yeah. I see it.
Good. I don't think any behind the scenes people in front of the camera so people can understand.
At some point, you'll get them for sure.
Yeah. So listen, I want to start with what we're leading up to this week. I want to start with Calypso. I see many versions of Calypso over the years. I see new Calypso. I see several different iterations. But I see you have Calypso with a K.
Yeah.
So I'm eager to ask you what it is, how it's going.
Well, let me start and say the K. It's not because my name starts with Kit. It just so happens.
Vanity play.
Yeah, not a vanity move. But the vision was, you see how Afrobeat went from Afrobeat to Afrobeat. It was to keep the core of Calypso without changing it too much, because we really want to stand up on the backbone of Calypso. I don't want to change it. However, the older version of Calypso isn't very modern in a sense where young people kind of gravitate towards it. So I found a way to reinvent it to the point where we keep the backbone of Calypso but sing about modern things and have a modern feel so that it songs in a particular direction. So that was the whole idea behind Calypso with a K. But we realized that just creating a genre isn't enough.
Right.
We have to create a culture. We have to create an image. We have to create a whole environment. So the first episode the first iteration, which is Calypso, the fashion show we have in, is to express how we envision Calypso and the modern Calypsonians would look. So that's what we actually do.
The look.
The look of Calypso. Because if you really go like Halloween, right? If you want to dress up as your favorite soca artist, you can't really dress up anyway. There's no way to dress up. But if you want to dress up as your favorite reggae artist, your favorite rap artist, there's a look. We don't have any looks like that, and that kind of missing from our culture, that we have to establish ourselves not sonically only, but visually as well. And then the whole culture will come together as we establish these things. So it's not just one, part of the music alone. The music is fundamental, but it's also the image and the culture of Calypso as well. So that's why we're going in keeping Calypso, said the same way, but with a K. So,
Gotcha. David, the whole interview already done now, because this is all I want to talk about.
Oh, shucks.
That look, right? That look. Real interesting to me, because my father and I always have this discussion about the look of a Calypsonian. Because somewhere, I'm not sure if it's the change in a Calypso to soca or the creating a soca as a genre.
Right.
But Kitchener had a look and an identity.
All of them had a look.
They had
All
a
of them had a look.
Growling Tiger, Spoiler. Like when I say the names, for younger people it might be the same. Youths going to school now, for instance.
You can put pictures while it is we talking.
Oh yeah, that's the idea. See, he gave me work to do. David asking for that a long time. But yeah. The thing about it is connecting that look to each one of them. It was all part of a brand for them.
It's a brand, correct, yeah.
So somewhere along the line, it started to become, because the music has always patterned or sort of mimicked what the world music felt like in terms of the sound.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's what happened with the dress somewhere around the 80s.
Definitely.
Everybody just started to look a little more like hip-hop or whatever was the popular music. But you say that's something you're looking at in terms of the look.
The look, yeah, it's very important, because I was talking to AT and Charles at a point, and
yeah, man, it's a look.
Yeah. Even him and Freetown has a look.
Of course.
They're like the modern Calypsonians in my eyes. And he was explaining to me, because he's very involved in the history of Calypso and everything.
Right.
And he was explaining to me that they used to have to dress up in suits because they wasn't getting the respect that they needed when they go to the different performances and so forth. So it was more, they didn't have a choice back then, but now we have a choice and we could establish ourselves and dress ourselves however we want to. But soca end up in a direction where every year we kind of just follow the trends of the world. So when there was this Afrobeats era, we end up getting Afro soca. Yeah. When there was this EDM era, we end up having a kind of EDM song with even dubstep with the 40-foot rhythm and so forth that you and them did. So we just keep adapting and changing, which is a good thing, but it's not ours. It's always we morph to match other people. And what ended up happening is soca became a genre that is definitely tethered to carnival. Right? And it being so tight to carnival, wherever carnival goes, soca goes. But that's it. It can't go anywhere else other than where carnival goes. So if carnival is worldwide and it goes every single place in the world, then soca would become worldwide. Yeah. But I don't think soca could go any further than carnival. But Calypso had the opportunity, and it proved it did. And Calypso, I still think it does have the opportunity to go in that direction. So that's why we want to focus more on Calypso. I mean, I'm saying we, but I really mean you know.
You.
But I mean, you hope to inspire people, and you know, if the genre itself, because I found a way to mathematically design the genre so that it's repeatable and it songs the same, but it doesn't sound the same, and every single song has a different emotion behind it, but it's still within the same, you know, feel.
Gotcha. And I don't want to dwell on that look, but it's so important to me because even as you say, that respecting is real. People dressed up to make sure that they were the best dressed in the venue. Because at that time, you're looking at the audience was also in suits and that kind of thing. So Etienne's spot on.
Yeah.
But think about Trinidad Rio. And when it's about a look, he's a man fit looking like you know what I mean? And you have a blazer, no shirt, and a tie. It became a signature of how he looked over there, sprang along, same thing. So I appreciate the work that you're doing with that. And you also working on that sound. You're having an interesting discussion about that that feel or that rhythm that works for Calypso. So.
Yeah. The idea is, I don't know if I could make a little beatbox on it. Well, the idea, right? I did my degree in maths, right? So, you know, don't judge me. I'm a little nerd. Right? And I see patterns very well, right? So in doing the music, I've done a couple songs since 2015, and Choppy's song, Captain, right? Sail away, anchor down, right?
Yeah, sail away. Can't call it Captain. Only have a name for songs internally, and we as fans have a name for songs.
I just call it Sail Away. I know it's Captain, but I just call it Sail Away too. And that was the first song that I did the groove, right? Because growing up and seeing some of my dad's performances and the music he did, there was a lot of, the groove was like, and I thought that would have been kind of interesting to put in a soca song. So that song was the first song that I actually used that groove in. And it worked, it definitely worked for his career, right? And then we tried it again. So then we tried it with Drink and Party. As we wanna drink. I don't drink and party.
No. Oh, man.
but you know, everybody else could relate. And it had the same groove. And then the Freetown was the last time that we tried it, which was the and then take me home. And it's the same groove over and over. And I realized that something about it makes it feel like us. Like it is soca, but it's not. But it could be more than, and it could, like you could express yourself in different ways. And I realized after a few years of experimenting with the groove, I decided that I only want to do that groove alone. So I'm going to do that, only that groove. And all the songs I'm going to release is going to be in that groove. So actually coming back to the groove itself, it's like it's like you're dressing up a mannequin that's already Calypso, and you're just making it, you put on shades, you put a little bit of black dandyism into it, you put a little royalty into it, and we establish it in a way where it's ours and we could be proud of it. Because the habit Trinidadians is how we only be proud when we fly out now.
Yeah.
You know, we don't be proud while we down here.
Yeah, if you want to make a good product, send it abroad and
then come back.
It.
Yeah.
Of course.
And we have so much exportable material, not just oil and whatever the case is, but we have creative exportable material that we don't utilize and we don't really go into, and it can make us billions.
Sure.
So the aim is really to inspire direction of a new genre, a new look, a new culture, and to hopefully export it to a worldwide, you know, in
a couple of things you bring up there I want to go back to, right? But that groove, right? I didn't understand. So I don't know why I like that choppy or that drink and party.
The groove.
But how do, let me ask you another question now from my standpoint.
Yeah.
If the groove is the same, because when you say it or you play the groove there, you hear it immediately, right? So you go back to them songs. How you get such a different feel for each one of those songs, or there's the same groove? Each one of them have a signature feel, talking about different things.
Yeah. Well, the groove, it usually is between like 100 and 110 BPM to get super nerd, right? Gotcha. So I try to keep it the speed, right? Because I've realized those kind of speeds, it's easy to digest, right? Like foreign and locally, because like doing Kes Hello and these kind of songs, it's easier for a lot of people to take in that BPM. And then it's closer to Afrobeats, so it's easier to blend, right? So the groove is, the BPM is important, but not just the BPM. When it is you switch tones, so like you have a different kick drum, it makes the tonality of the song different. But then the chords would be different, and you use different instruments, and then it's different artists, and then they sing about different topics. So even though you could have the same groove, because hip hop has had the same groove forever, pop is the same groove, funk, same groove forever. But even soca is the same groove, even reggaeton is the same groove forever. But we don't have to change it so far where it doesn't where it is no longer us.
Gotcha.
So in the sense of it, once you change tones, once you change singing topics, you change artists, it will sound different. It could never sound the same over and over and over again. Because it's like saying reggaeton or reggae or dancehall, all of them sound the same.
Right.
They don't. They don't.
Yeah,
it's a different expression just on a backbone. So it's almost like this is the fundamentals. Like this is, you start with this and then you make whatever you want to make with it.
Yeah. Gotcha. It reminds me, like when I listen to your music in particular, it reminds me of two eras in Calypso. Okay. One was real Calypso still. It wasn't, soca was out, but everybody was a Calypsonian. There was nothing like a soca artist.
Right.
And one of them who would have dominated late 80s was Tambu.
Right.
Like when you listen to his music and you talking about that groove, it takes me back to, is a people without a culture, you know?
It's always have a feel, yeah.
It have a feel, it have a bounce to it. Yeah. So I always wonder sometimes when you hear songs and you like them immediately.
Yeah.
You know, if it's something connecting you to the past, you know?
Well, I didn't grow up on Calypso. I actually grew up on R&B and like hip hop and all kind. I used to rap and thing, real cussing and thing. Real cussing and real gunman lyrics.
Singing gunman thing. You don't look the part.
No. Well, you know, I had to quickly realize it was new for me, right? But when Daddy used to do the plays and all these things, and they used to have the ballet dancers and all this stuff, I just remember very clearly the drum pattern. I don't know where it just came back out from. And every single time I hear it, I just feel like culture.
Right.
But imagine putting some funk chords on it or some R&B chords on top of that groove, and that's what we've done. We actually have a song coming out with Voice soon that it sounds like Shadi, but it sounds like Shadi with Calypso.
Got it.
But then it's voice singing it.
Right.
But he's not singing about the road and stink and dirty and all these different things. So it's actually like really good listening music, but you could still wind it.
I feel it, and that's all part of your effort to take it out, to make it less seasonal.
Yeah. The aim is to go straight through the year. The aim is not bounded by Carnival, but it could still fit. It needs to be able to fit in Carnival as well.
I'm with you. So for the listeners' sake, when you say Daddy, you mean Roger Israel, right?
Oh, shucks. Yes. Yeah, my bad. Yes. My father, Roger Israel, yes.
You are a front row seat to all that coming up.
I don't know if I had a front row seat, but we had a studio. Well, we still have the studio at home. So he worked in his studio like a lot, probably more than I worked, but he also had a job. So when he went to work and then he came back home and then he worked straight through. Yeah. So we would hear it all the time. We would hear all the sessions. We were right next to the music. Gotcha. The computer was actually in the studio. So when we wanted to go, and play Pokemon on the computer, you're hearing the music playing at the same time. So it's kind of ingrained in us, but it was more of an unconscious ingredient because he never said, come and listen to this and come and do this. And he never said that. He always felt as though he created an environment where if we want to do it, it's available. And if you don't want to do it, it's fine as well. So that was always his motto. Yeah,
interesting guy. You know, I look at
very
his
interesting
interviews.
guy.
I think, very, very interesting. And one of the reasons I do this is because of people like him. Because I feel it's a disservice to the youths that they might say the name Roger Israel and people don't know it. Yeah, it's sad. It's sad to me. And
should I bring him? Yeah. Next time.
You really?
Season 2.
All right, good. Book it. Yeah.
Actually, could do a father-son kind of episode.
Listen, I for it. I have a good few people who were parents. Their parents would have passed though.
Right.
Who coming through to do a series on that.
Like young Rod and thing. Of course. Kenny Phillips and Casey and Kyle
I can't wait for two of them to come. But some of them I have who parents passed would be like Charlene Bailey. Right. This boy Christian Joseph. Yeah. You know, a few of them. Well, the second star
thing too.
Yeah, great. And that connection, but it's so almost surreal to hear you say some of these things because when you say because it's easy to see somebody as a producer and say a beat maker.
True.
But the depth of what you're talking about.
Two different things,
Of course.
Beat makers, by the name, makes beats. Yeah. Like that's a topic I always kind of get a little passionate about. Sure. But a producer is somebody who takes something out of nothing and makes it into something worth selling, right? Yeah. And a lot of beat makers, they don't know how to transfer the beat into a full song, into a product to sell. They're very good at making the beats, Sure. But being a producer is way more than that. Like you could make the beat, you could organize the musicians, you could write, like I write half of the stuff I do. Even I sing backgrounds. Like I make songs 13, 14, 50,000 times. Like If anybody know me, I just mix way too much. But I'm obsessed with it to the point where it needs to feel a certain way, not just sound a certain way, but feel a certain way. So there's a clear distinction between producer and beat maker.
Of course.
Yeah.
Somewhere it get muddled because back in the day, you would have had arrangers, producers. It was separate.
Yeah.
But now, I don't know, just technology make everything kind of feel like one.
Well, locally, we have to wear multiple hats. And I think it just kind of just push everything into one bowl. So we just put a hat on called producer, but we do everything. Because even like vocal coaching, like in the studio, we have to guide the artist on how to sing it. Like, no, don't sing it this way, sing it this way, sing it this way. Now change this line, this ain't songing good. But then some people don't know how to do that and they just press record and then hope for the best. Yeah. We can't really afford to do that. So we actually put in a lot of work as producers in Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah, that's why I like the connecting. So when you say names like Kenny Phillips and so on, this is a lot of the work they did. At time growing up in St. James, I was in Pelham's studio. He was
I know Pelham. Yeah.
You know Pelham. And Pelham know what you want to hear. It's like you know what I mean? Mevon said it too. He starts outcome first. They understand where they need to get to. And boy, Pelham tried to get that man singing he rapping, and that man trying to say fly, let your rags fly.
Fly?
I'm trying to get our man to say fly.
Oh my
It's
goodness.
one of the greatest sessions I've ever seen.
How you spell that? F-L-A?
F-A, my brother had to song right to me. But them days hip hop is the thing, you know. He had a rough time.
Yeah.
But that connection with you and your dad is interesting to hear you talk about shaping the culture. So much of what he would say, in other words, he was not. I remember seeing an interview with him with Josan Leonard and him saying he's an artist, and he said that's a very troublesome word. You know, he didn't like to be boxed.
Yeah. He would say so like that. Definitely.
He looking at the whole thing, so it's interesting to see you there. So when you're small, you go in them spaces and stuff, you thinking about this at all? You're thinking about getting a life in creative arts?
I guess by the age of like 11, 12, I was in it. Like when Fruity Loops 2 came out.
You say 11, 12 like it late. I just want to...
let me put context. 11, 12 was 28 years ago.
Right?
Well,
11, 12 is pretty young to make that. You're starting to see...
Yeah, no, I saw it. Right. Like when we had the computer and we had Fruity Loops 2.
Sure.
That's not FL Studio. Right? We're talking Fruity Loops 2.
Right, the original.
And I don't know, I picked up the program and I was fiddling with it, and I think from there I was obsessed because I started DJing at that point. Right. I used to be an MC as well too. I started doing some refixes, so that's like when you take the acapella of one beat and you put it on top of the instrumental of the next beat. Right. And then we start doing dub plates for ourselves. So we actually had we get 5 minutes to DJ in Fatima Mayfair. 5 minutes, It wasn't 15 minutes, it was 5 minutes. We end up getting 3 minutes, right? They put us on stage, we say, boy, we only getting 5 minutes. We end up doing a dub plate, you know, the J-A-M, Jamaica, the Elephant Man. We do a F-A-T, so we record it in studio before we went there. And we play 1 or 2 songs, and then we went to that, boy, we share along the place. We share along the place, and you know what ended up happening? Our next DJ man come on and take the credit for it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
You are here 3 minutes.
You understand? But we recorded it home, we did it, and we sampled it, whatever we needed to, and then we played it. And it was since then, I used to DJ in parties for free. Well, not for free. We used to beg them for food and things. Right. So once all you're feeding us, we used to go and DJ. But music, like since I was 11, 12, I was obsessed with it. I knew I was doing it regardless. If I was working, I was going to do it. It was not an option for me.
Got it.
Yeah, I was obsessed with it.
And you were following your road of playing instruments and them kind of things, or on computer?
I used to play piano, but I find the classical training was a little boring, to be honest. And then what I've learned, learning things too much classically kind of stunts your creativity. Meaning all the rules that you learn, it ends up keeping you in a box. So after I did piano training, I know how to play piano, I ended up teaching myself how to play guitar. Right. But I just know how to play the basics. And then you play a little chord and then you cut. You play an next chord and then you cut. And you play an next chord and you cut. That's exactly what I do for choppy song.
Seriously?
Yeah, folklore.
Oh, you play it?
I play the guitar and that on folklore and all that stuff. Take pieces and then cut it up because I know what I want it to sound like. But I play it. But then when I ask musicians to play it, they don't have the same groove. It sounds different. Like it feels different. And it's just like, you know what? Let me keep pushing myself, and I learned it over time. But in terms of classically trained, I only have a little bit of training, to be honest.
Serious? Yeah. Kids, we will never finish this interview, because you're talking about things close to my heart,
Boy.
I wonder sometimes about our approach to teaching music in schools. You know what I mean? When you saying that, or Mevon say the same thing, Tuvon still talking about it, and the ones are classically trained too.
Yeah.
But they understand that we have something here that I was telling Kenny Phillips this. It should be taught. the way he plays as a strum pattern. You can teach that in a music school. I feel like local children will connect to hearing what is your groove or what is Lou groove, how Lou is strummed. It might connect with them a little better than hearing when you name Big Koski, try Povan.
What is strange, Lou, he played the guitar on Take Me Home, right? And he was playing it in his groove. But I had a particular groove that I developed with the whole Calypso genre that I wanted to push. And he couldn't get his syncopation the first time.
Sure.
I mean, we did it for like half an hour and he got it. But another instance, we went to Anguilla for a workshop. I don't know if everyone told you this.
Yes,
and one of the guys, he was trying to play the groove that we were trying to teach, and he couldn't get it because he learned a separate groove. And exactly what you're saying, I think learning the grooves of other people, because everybody has an identity when they play an instrument, is their voice.
Yeah.
And if we could teach those things, it would give the younger generation more opportunities to learn different things, to learn the music that we know, instead of them guessing, because the next generation is going to come and they're going to figure out things the way they'll figure it out, hence Zest. Which is, like Zest, I think is probably one of the best things that happen, but Zest is really a response to lack of attention, in my opinion, meaning a lot of these artists started off singing soca and they didn't get the attention, they didn't get the support, they didn't get the credit. And
then
we
always starting from scratch. When you're young, you had to figure out everything that nothing happened before.
And it's like, why? Like all these artists could have been soca artists under this umbrella that we could have pushed soca worldwide. But now Zest is bigger than soca, like in certain countries, territories. Streaming wise, definitely. But I mean, the culture of Zest is a little tense. With some topics. The Trinidad and Zest. But I still love it to the point that it is new and it is ours. And I think we need, as soca artists or soca producers and all these different things, to take it in a direction where we start to own it again, instead of like a new genre come out, so let's change soca to song more like that. Like come on, we need to stop that.
Of course, it is important, and it comes from me going to I went to Berkeley for a course, guitar as well.
Okay.
And them men is telling, okay, this is what Zeppelin do. This is what this one do. They tell you, these people who develop their own style, whether it's blues or jazz.
Right.
So you might learn blues, but then you learn what the greats would have done.
Yeah.
But we let our greats fade away. What you're saying there is why the youths don't know your father. If we connect them dots, they will start to understand.
But you had to be fair to it.
Sure.
Like, the greats fading away isn't their fault or our fault. It's a combination of both. Like, if I was a youth now, I mean, I feel like a youth, but if I was younger now, I just wouldn't be interested in it. Like, how do you get me interested in this? And you're trying to teach me all of this.
Of course.
So we have to find clever ways of making it interesting again. And I don't think we put enough attention to it.
That is exactly it. I think it's creating these spaces. I saw you and Mevon in Anguilla. Two things stood out to me there, because when all the fellas get focused in front of a computer, it's something to see. Because as soon as all they reach in front of the board, man, it's like,
dog, that board, that studio is amazing. Yeah.
And Anguilla is small.
Yeah.
But you also the children response to you all. I see all they do a song with them and they come out singing the song and they response to you all, because you saying you feel like a youth, because it will be easier for them to connect with you than it is for them to connect. Let me use Rada as an example. It's very, very distant.
Well, I have 3 children, so I kind of know how to interact with children.
That's what it is.
So that part you could figure out. But what we realized when we reached in Anguilla, the format of what they wanted is to teach a course, etc., right?
Sure.
I find that's too little bit, right? We decided when we got there, we teach the course, of course. That's what they bring us across for. But we give them an experience from the beginning of making a song to reaching on the radio to reaching on the stage. So we end up releasing the song on radio, and they end up performing for the opening of Carnival, and they get so much experience from just that one song alone. The song is up on iTunes, on Spotify, and whatever the case is. We did our artwork. We showed them how to do every single thing. And it shows them that they could do it for themselves. And they actually get the experience instead of sitting down in front of a TV or a screen, or take the notes, this is copyright, or this is master. Like,
that's hard.
Put them in the environment. So next year, more than likely, they're going to probably have our next song, Young Stars, coming out with another song. And I think we need more actual experience instead of all the theory. Like, we have too many workshops. We have at least a workshop every month in Trinidad.
A talk shop.
And a talk shop. And it's like, how much more workshops you going to have? Put them in the actual competitions, make them do songs, release these songs, put them on radio, like take that same money and invest in the actual product itself. Like, anyway, before I get too passionate.
I'm with you 100%, because all the greats, including yourself, so many people say they learn it by doing. It's tacit learning. But we like classrooms, as you say, we like little workshops. So You at 11 deciding that you're getting into this thing. What's the steps you're taking to another direction you're feeling like you're going in at that point?
In terms of?
So we went into DJing from there?
Yeah.
As early as that?
So I started making the beats.
Right. Also, you started doing the refixes as early as that?
Yeah, so I started making the beats and then we started doing the refixes when I was
primary
DJing.
School?
This was now going into secondary school.
Okay, what secondary school is this?
Fatima.
Oh, it's good people, David.
Yeah.
Fatima men here. You know what I mean?
Fatima boys are good boys, yes.
Fatima boys are good boys.
Yeah. Yes, brother, yes.
Father Gregory.
Yes. He looks exactly the same, eh? And he remembers everybody.
He's some melt. When I went Fatima, he was Brother Gregory. He was not priest.
He wasn't priest at all?
No, he came into Fatima as Brother Gregory.
Yeah, he's one of the greatest.
Yeah, for sure. You're going to come and talk.
Yeah, and then when I went from the DJing, me and I don't know if you know Anson, he manages Nyla and so forth. Yeah. We started our rap group.
Yeah.
So we actually was rapping and performing and stuff. And we actually almost got a deal on the table. That was when we was like 16. But the rapping wasn't my thing.
No,
it's not my thing, no. And then from there we started, I went to university. So I did my degree in maths in Coppin State University in Baltimore.
Okay.
And then from there I was trying to figure out, okay, should I go back home and, settle down or whatever, or continue doing my master's or my PhD in actuarial science or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. And I decided, you know what, let me take the risk and go home and try it. And if it doesn't work, I'll just go back and
So even though you're there, you're doing your maths and thing, the music's still on your mind.
They used to have dorm room parties and stuff, and I used to be in my room and set up a little studio in my closet and sing. I was singing in my room while they partying.
Seriously?
Yeah. I was totally obsessed. I think that's the number one thing that still has me feeling so passionate about it. No matter what happens, music has always been there, and music will always be my obsession. I mean, girl too, But I mean, in terms of, I think my purpose is that's why I call myself advocate as well. I think my purpose is to help those that can't help themselves. But I think the vessel or the vehicle is through music.
So then how come you end up in maths? What caused you to study maths?
It was easy for me. I ain't even gonna lie, I like maths and the logic of maths, and especially when they reach that point where they remove numbers and it's only about
you like proofs. That part?
I like it, yeah. The numbers part was annoying. The numbers part was more like accounts for me.
I suppose.
Yeah. So I don't really like accounts. I mean, money is one thing, but accounts is.
Yeah, who like accounts?
Yeah. But the reasoning the proofs and why you have to prove 1 is not equal to 0. Sure. I find that super interesting, and it was easy for me, so I did it. Yeah. Right, and then it was either that or I wasn't very good in English, to be honest.
Yeah.
I hated English. So languages and thing, not my thing. History, not my thing.
No, but
the maths was it. And I kind of realized if the music didn't work, let me take the chance, because I wouldn't get this chance again at this age. Because at that point, I was getting married and my first son was about to be born. Mm-hmm. And I was working, and I decided to leave my job when he was born. Well, that caused drama. Yeah, because it was like, you have a steady job, a child coming, and what you doing?
What kind of work you doing then?
I was working amalgamated security, not as a security guard, but I was a manager there doing geographic information systems. So it's like tracking vehicles and tracking.
Yeah. You said that's where your master's was in?
That's what I did my postgrad in after.
Got it.
Right? So
or after then?
After I did my
amalgamated time? Or after
during amalgamated, I started and I finished, right?
Got it.
So doing the geographic information systems, that was interesting, but it was also easy too now. It was just like maps, layers, you run your formulas, you do this and...
Because you say it and make it sound easy, don't make it easy. I just want to put that out there. When you say maths and logic and things, because you say it casually, it's hard, right? But go ahead.
But some things like language is easy for some people.
I would imagine.
Yeah, but it's not easy for me. But in terms of the maths, it was just like, I got it quickly. Once, you get for the rest of your life. Okay. English, it was like, there's 5 different meanings for the word bat. Like, give me a break now.
It's a cool word.
Yeah, it's like, it doesn't sound like how it's spelled.
No.
I hated that. There wasn't a formula behind it. Though, sorry, if you're going off. The English that I learned later on in life is that each part actually has a meaning. So like in has a meaning, de has a meaning, des has a meaning, ing has a meaning, but I didn't learn English that way. And if I learned it that way, I would have done way better on SATs.
Well, we really learn by rote. It's the same thing as saying about the music, we repeat things in our mind till which I don't know if is the best way.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you say you're firing the work.
Yeah, so
Your wife, you say
she wasn't impressed. She wasn't impressed at all. And mother-in-law wasn't impressed neither.
I would imagine.
No, not impressed. Because I was making good money at that point. But it's two factors, right? So while I was working there, I was eating my lunch for breakfast. I was eating lunch in the mall. And then I was eating dinner as well. So I put on like 40 pounds. So you talking about stretch marks and all kinds. I was like, nah, brother. That can't continue. It's not going to work. So just the eating habit was bad, right? I work around the corner, literally like 5 minutes drive. And I used to reach to work late. That doesn't make me seem like positive about life.
Sure.
The second thing too, I was kind of bored. It wasn't really pushing me, and then there's only so far I could grow in the industry itself because it was a family-owned business. I can't own the business at the end of the day. And no disrespect to anybody. But if I have to work there 40 years, I should be able to own it at some point, right? So I decided to save up 6 months of savings, and then I left. And she was pissed, boy. Oh my goodness, she was pissed. But you know what ended up happening? I work. And then a year and a half after, I think, we went soca manak with Olatunji Ola.
Serious?
Yeah. And the discussion totally changed.
I would imagine. Yeah, I would have changed the discussion. So I don't pretend none of them things never happened. Me, mother-in-law, everybody good now.
Everybody was like, oh. And my father pick up and say, well, no, you could take the studio. He tells everybody I kick him out of the studio. So he decides to leave the studio on his own,
This
grace.
is your part of the story.
Yeah. And then he builds a studio on the side for himself. But after that moment, it was like they saw that the music could generate the kind of income and provide for the family.
Of course, yeah.
And then after Kes Hello, oh gosh.
Yeah, it's gone clear.
Yeah, it's ridiculous now. And now I'm being taxed by the family. I'm saying it publicly.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
This
yes.
is a lot.
Yes.
You're being taxed,
I'm
they
being
say.
taxed, yes. I get taxed at home. But, as a son, it's my responsibility.
What you going to do? That's what we're here for.
Yes.
So I have an encounter with you. I was telling you before we start.
Yes,
when you come into my life, a lot has happened. I'm very worried. I don't know if this is coincidence. And I'm going to make sure that when I encounter you again, it's not going to happen again. I'm going to take all precautions, right?
Yes.
But photography, where that fits into your journey?
Okay. When I started learning something, I just kind of get obsessive with it, right? So I end up taking pictures with my phone and whatever case. And I was like, this kind of interesting. And then I took pictures and then I went into Photoshop. So like retouching, like putting on makeup and plastic surgery and thing on Photoshop. I used to really like it. I was like, this is real fun.
Yeah.
And then I bought a proper camera and I was like, hey, maybe I could do this as a business. And then I started and it started to work. So I ended up taking pictures for Yuma. I did some weddings. I did some pregnancy pictures and so forth.
Both of you was pregnant.
Yes. And that's funny. And from there, it just kind of just grew into this love, and I end up loving like lighting. So like how to light like characters, light. I wanted to get into more like building photography and food photography and all these different things. But then I realized it's a lot of money that to buy all this equipment. And the amount of money people were paying me for some of the jobs, it didn't really make sense. So it started to feel kind of like slavery now. Like it would have people, this is honest. It would have people that I would go to jobs with. So like I get hired from the ministry or whatever the case is at a certain rate. And some of the brethren that I do photography with would show up. They get hired from somebody private and they get paid like 10 times the amount of money. And they stayed for like an hour or two. And I have to stay there whole day and I get way less money. And I'm like, that not making any sense.
Yeah.
And then every single time we do pictures for people every year, each year the budget getting less and less. I'm like, you're making more and more. So why is my budget getting less and less? And then I have to make do with what I have. And then I was like, you know what? It's not making any sense anymore. I love photography still and I would love to get back into it, but it didn't make sense as a business.
Yeah, because when I first heard your name, of course your name unique, you can't forget it, right? So when you hear Kids Israel, now my wife, we are running debates up to before I leave home this morning. She said that I find you. I said, but you tell me you was pregnant. I didn't know what a pregnancy photo shoot was, or a pregnancy for that matter. And she said, and I remember her saying she want Kid Israel to do the thing. I said, right, cool. So I was surprised years after when I started hearing the name in music production. I was like, wait, this is the same person? It can't be two different people.
Same person.
So the photography came when you first came back to Trinidad before you went back into music, or you doing all of the same
I
time?
never stopped doing music, so it was happening simultaneously. It's just, you know, the photography was making more at that point, so I pushed a little more attention into the photography.
Got it.
But as soon as we went Soca Mana, I tell you that
That was the end.
that was it. That the discussion changed.
And what year this was again?
2016.
16.
I think it was 2016. Yeah, Ola came out 2015, so they would have been the following carnival. Yeah.
So before we jump into that, what's some of the earlier work you did? What artists you starting with? What you did when you first get into music? You was doing rhythms then, or
what, back in prehistoric age?
no? In terms of getting into soca now, and
soca.
making music, yeah.
The first artist the first artist I started working with was K Rich and Second Star. Those were the first two, because we had a big team. It was me, Second Star, K Rich, and probably about 2 or 3 other people.
The second Star Fatima man too.
Second Star and Fatima too. And we started off, but K Rich had gosh, what was this song, boy? Nothing Less. So he had gotten some popularity around that time. We didn't do that. I think it was Red Boys or one of the had did that song. But he was getting some popularity from that. And they got me into soca because I really was not in soca. Yeah. I was totally on the hip hop and thing. And we did a song for Second Star called Wine on the Truck. Right. No, actually we did Stick It first. So the drum pattern was dum 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 dum. That was like a real kind of Beach Boys, almost surfer dude kind of thing, right? And that was very interesting for him. He went and performed. He ended up reaching in Soca Mana finals or something like that. And that was interesting for him. And I was like, hey, this soca thing kind of making sense. Then I ended up selling 1 or 2 beats and it did make a little bit of money. Right. And then the year after, we did a song for Second Star called Wine on the Truck. You know what it's supposed to mean, right? We had wine on the truck, but then a chicken on top of it, right? A male chicken on top of it. So you know what the song's supposed to be, right? And that was a very interesting take. So the bunks of it was like a kind of swappy kind of beat now. And that was very interesting. But then the next year was the Kan Kan Riddim. And Second Star was part of it. The whole team was part of it. But unfortunately, after that Kan Kan Riddim come out, whole team mash up. Whole team mash up. I think with success, a lot of us don't know how to handle it. Myself included. We don't know how to have the right discussions. We don't know how to treat everybody with respect and give everybody their value. Everybody believes that their value is equal to everybody else's value. So of course everybody believes that they should all get equal shit across the board. And then there are some people who believe they should get more than others. And me and Second Star are still very close, so it's not like any problems there. Right. It's just, I think success changes the conversation and we're not taught to do it. So after Kan Kan, problems. After folklore, problems.
Yes, yes.
After, like almost every major success I've had, it's just always be like, why we can't make this work now? You know what I mean? Let's just kumbaya and live nice. But it's just always reach a point. But a lot of artists don't understand that producers, we spend hours, days, weeks crafting and massaging this music. And then when they go on stage and they get performances, they get money, we don't get really paid now. So when we having discussions of master ownership and copyright and all these different things, there's always a fight because we don't get properly paid on the other end. We don't get no endorsement deals. We don't get none of that stuff.
Of course, you might even know. People wouldn't know.
We don't even know, right? Yeah. And then the only money we would get is whatever upfront cash we may get or whatever streaming cash we may get, right? And it's starting to get less and less by the years. Sure. But if we don't own certain things, we're not going to make any money. And if we're not making any money, it's very hard to continue giving people songs.
Yeah, you got to go back to photography.
Yeah, exactly. And I want to do all these songs for everybody. Sure. But if I didn't make the kind of money I made, like, it would be very difficult to sit down here and just be like, yeah, I'm going to reinvent Calypso.
Of course.
It's going to be hard because I have to feed my children. So I'm going to have to find a job and I'm going to have to think. So, I mean, part of the Calypso vision as well is to really establish some kind of formality of business in the music industry, because too many musicians, particularly musicians, writers, producers, everybody has a day job. Right. And they have to survive, and the music is a passion thing. We can't continue to...
for the culture thing.
No. People need to be fed, and people need to treat this as a business. You wake up in the morning, 8 to 4, you go to work now. But they can't afford to do it because they have responsibilities. Yeah. So it's just unfortunate that it happens.
Yeah, I want to dive deeper into that because the business side of it always important to me. I don't get into... my father and I have a business, and we judicious about the decisions we make. Every cost that to be covered. The business must pay for itself. Yeah. Let me put it that way. And I have brothers and sisters who are in the business too, and they have to earn, they have to eat it. Otherwise, what we doing it for is discuss all the time. But that for the culture thing, you hear it in almost every aspect of our culture. Whether it could be soca and calypso, it could be stick fight, it could be the arts or performing arts like plays and theater and so on. People is outright say, well, hey, if you're in this, is a for the culture thing. So I want to ask you some things about the money. When you say money up front for production, what does that look like? Is the artist paying you for a beat, or how does that work?
Right. So originally, it used to work as the artist used to pay for the song, right? They will pay the writer their fee, and then they'll pay the producer or the beat maker their fee.
Right.
And then they'll get the song recorded, they'll pay the engineer, they'll pay the studio, they'll pay for everything.
Sure.
And then in paying for everything, they become the executive producer of the project, which is the owner of the master, right?
Right.
Now it has changed so much where...
So they become the owner of the master even though you make the beat?
Yeah, but they paid you for it. So there's
they pay it clear?
Clear.
Okay,
There's some documentation behind it.
Got it.
But rhythms became super popular. So it's very difficult for one artist to come and pay you for a beat and then another artist come and pay you for the same beat. And then who really owns the beat? Because it's the same beat across it. So what ended up happening is producers end up owning more material. And say, yo, I'm doing a rhythm, have these artists, we get a piece on the master, but the producer owns the master.
Sure.
So the artists no longer start paying for stuff.
Okay, so the upfront money is less or gone?
Or gone.
Okay, got you.
Right? I mean, if it's a single,
Right,
like a single,
different.
you could have that discussion. But then it ended up reaching to a point where the upfront money is not enough. So the average cost of a song is like $1,500 US for writing, and that's like base, right? And then like 2,000 or maybe about 15 production, right? So about 3,000 US you're gonna pay for a song. That's like normal price. I mean, it could be less and it could be way more. But in terms of the cost of it, imagine you sell a song for $1,500 US and then that song makes $1 million for the artist. That kind of hard to stomach.
You ain't gonna feel good.
Yeah. So the model starts to change where people start to barter. Okay, don't pay me, let me get a percentage on the master, or let me get a percentage of X, Y, and Z, or whatever the case is. So the model that has been trending now is usually no pay. So the artist doesn't pay for any, like a lot. I'm not saying all.
Got it.
Like there are some of the upper artists that actually pay for this stuff and own this stuff. But a lot of them, they get a lot of free songs. And when they get a free song, they go on stage and they get to perform and they get paid.
And you left out. The producer is here.
Yeah, but when the song works and you own the master as a producer, it definitely puts you in a perspective like it's streaming on iTunes, it's streaming on Spotify, and you own it. It starts to look different. You start to get paid in the US and the money starts to look good. But if the song is that big and it's making all those streams, the artist is getting that big and getting those performances. So they're going to make the same amount or even more money in performances regardless of the success of the song.
Oh, with you. Pure ignorance, but when you say make money from the streams, that is cut money coming in from one plate, or that is from the platforms?
Right, so I used to be on the board of cut, and that was a whole experience by itself. I wish I could just go in and just change everything, but I think I'm tired of that. But anyway, CUT is a collection organization, a royalty collection organization.
Sure.
CUT is actually not, and TTC and all these other organizations, they're actually not copyright organizations, though the name says copyright. It's actually a royalty collection agency, meaning they get permission to collect money on the artist's behalf.
Sure.
Artist meaning musician, writer, all these different things, right? So they get permission to collect it from the radio stations, from the parties, from the venues, from all these things. So they collect the royalties and then they pay out after taking their admin fees or whatever the case is. So that's royalties on copyright.
Okay.
But royalties on master is from streams and sales online and distribution, which is very different.
Like Spotify, Apple Music,
Spotify,
YouTube Music, and those places.
Yeah. Though there's still a copyright fee and a mechanical rights money that comes in on that regard. But the master rights is who's the person that owns it, and this is who I'm paying whenever it's sold.
Okay, so who gain when cut collectors and they pay somebody? Who gain? The artist, the producer, is it split or?
It's split. It's split according. So you're supposed to have an agreement saying these are the splits, like how we split in the song. Like if 3 ways are artist, writer, producer, we split in 3 ways. When cut pays out, so the song made 10,000 TT, they pay it out and everybody gets 1/3, right? But that's from collecting in parties, collecting on the road, collecting from the radio. That's those things. But in terms of streams on Spotify, cut has nothing to do with that.
Okay, yeah, that's separate from that.
That's totally separate, yeah.
So you're saying that from a business standpoint, somebody young who wants to get into this thing, you could take care of your family if the business done right from that standpoint.
For sure.
You could do well.
For sure. However, you will make a lot of enemies because you have to stand up on what you deserve. And if you pick up and say, no, I'm not selling my song and I own it, and the artists say, well, the song not coming out, then you don't have any songs.
Oh, shit.
So you have to be careful with how you
So
back
the
it.
artist kind of had the final say on what they release, more or less.
Yeah.
I understand.
And that's why you end up seeing a lot of writers and producers singing their own songs, because it's reaching to a point where it doesn't work in everybody's favor. And if we continue at this, we are going to have more producer writers coming out, and we're not going to give the big artists the big songs that we want to give them.
Yeah, so. I had that so backward in my mind, because I always used to wonder, okay, so if I'm Kit, I'm Mev, I'm full blown, I've talent.
Yeah, the ball head like several, me too. So.
Yeah, it's always work, you know what I mean? I should try. If I write a song, or I could produce a song and so, I would think that I must have a good feel for what go work, right? I say, right, this go work. And the more experience, like you experience with this now, I'm sure you hear things that you know, okay, this go win.
I ain't gonna lie, eh?
No?
You never know what would work.
Serious? But you have a feeling as to what is, you have a feeling and you say this?
Nope, I've never felt it. It always feels like I love it or I don't love it.
I see, yeah.
But I have no idea, because some of the stuff that I totally love, nobody cares about.
Yeah. That's why I will fall short, right?
Yeah, and then some of the stuff you just like, you just throw it out.
Right.
Like, I mean, let me be real, like the Folklore Riddim, that's with Kes Hello. I did it as a project with Kenny Phillips, right? So I made the beat as a fusion between Afro and Calypso. And we were going to get some older Calypsonians to sing on it. And then Kenny he stick on me, I seen it. He stick on me. And and from there, Kes ended up playing it, Nadia ended up playing it after, Tuna ended up playing it. And I was like, let me make it into a rhythm. And if I still get the older Calypsonians, I'll be vibes, right? We'll mix and match. We didn't end up getting it, and then that came out, and then boom.
Of course.
I didn't expect anything from that song, but that's the biggest grossing song that I have.
Really?
Yeah, for sure. And I'm glad I own it. If I didn't own that, boy, pressure.
I can imagine, yeah.
Oh God, pressure.
You're griping.
You boy, I'll be bitter.
Of course, I thinking that, okay, so if I have an inkling that that rhythm go work, a folklore, or even as a song, I am going to Machel, you know the list.
He did the list, yeah.
Yeah, there's a list, and a finite list. And I was wondering if that's one of the reasons, like people complaining about younger artists and opportunities. But if I'm a producer, I had to make money as a business.
Exactly.
Me and my father, again, we had to make money on every product. I would think that if I had to shop a song, I am only shopping it to the guys who I know will make it successful. Because the truth is, Hello is that whole rhythm is big songs, bombs, but give me it to sing now that same exact Hello, it was going nowhere. No. You understand? It's going to a damn place. You understand?
Right, so, I got a little 100 views. Yeah. 100 views.
How much is that from YouTube? How much is giving that?
0.2 cents.
Yeah, you can't feed them children. And you can't afford pregnancy photo shoots.
Nope.
So yeah, I would think that is the way. But I appreciate you going into detail in terms of owning some of it, because it's probably the only way. And then to make sure that you earn how in perpetuity is forever.
Yeah, it's mine. It's
yours.
The thing about it, I would say, because a lot of people feel like approaching the bigger artists or the list of top 10 artists that, Nadia, lyrical, skinny, there's a list, right? As you say, is the answer. I actually don't believe it's the answer. I made a career of busting younger artists. And every single time that it busts, it gave the artist a bigger opportunity to have a career, as well as it gave me opportunity to showcase that I don't need a bigger artist to prove that we can make good songs. And I think most of my career has been established. I've done, like even Aaron Duncan, Can You Feel It, right? He was 12 at that point. Oof. Yeah, and that was a huge song. He went and performed in Anguilla, yeah. One of the political parties wanted to use the song.
I see, I like that.
Yeah, and that's a big song for him. So I don't think you would make all your money from the big artists. I actually think you'll make your money from building other people up. That's how I've always seen business. Building and creating opportunities for others will make your business better.
I understand. The complaint now is that nobody do build young soca artists, right? You hear that?
I always, every single year, make sure and have a certain amount of younger artists that I work with. Nobody knows them. And I do these songs because they sound good. I mean, if the songs are crap. Yeah, go back to the drawing board.
And my one faces change when he say things sound like crap. It's one of the funnier things I've seen on this table. Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy.
He's always say, well, if he don't like it, it go work.
And he provide the proof. He provide the evidence. I just one more question on this. I suppose it's easier to negotiate or manage that split when it comes to masters with artists that you helping to
correct master. Yes, that's true. You can control the business a lot better when it's somebody that isn't super established, so you have more bargaining power.
Understood.
But I always believe in building a team and start with somebody and build and grow with them, because you would definitely have the opportunity to earn more, because with the bigger artists, they might just pay you out and you might just get a few thousands and then that's it.
So even the payouts is not, it's not worth it?
It's not worth it. No.
Okay,
it's not worth it. The whole industry needs to revamp, and the cost of production and writing, all of those stuff needs to change totally.
Well, interesting when you say you was on cut, and it's something that I've heard many people who were on cut talk about the issues there. But like I telling somebody the other day, we the grown-ups, when we say things had to change, all of a sudden we become the adults. We had to change it. Yeah. So in a way, everybody doing their part to change it. So hoping that when you reach Kenny Phillips stage, where there's some young fella coming to interview people and watching you like a lord, like we're watching Kenny, hopefully it changed by then. That's the most we can hope for.
Well, let me say on air as well too that my dad expressed that we are going through the same problems he went through, so it hasn't changed.
Yeah, that's it.
It's just a different way.
Yeah, of course.
So my philosophy is, or what I'm learning is, I need to stop begging for change, and I need to become the change that I need to be. So the Calypso venture is the change. Yes, I have to jump out a set of money and I have to do it. But when it works,
of course,
they'll realize. But if I went to the government for support on this, they might be like, maybe think, but they might give somebody else the budget instead of give me the budget for it, because I didn't do anything like that. So establishing myself and establishing what we're going forward, where we have control of the actual product and the vision, I think that's the start. And yes, back to cut. Cut definitely needs a lot of change, but it's not just change, you need a lot of help. And I need to be in a position where it is I could help instead of just...
I appreciate you saying that. That's important.
They need, like, a lot of people is be judging them, but they're not understanding what's really going on. And they want to say, no, cut not paying this and cut not this, but the environment is hostile and it is not accommodating cut to do the work properly that they could do the work. So my aim is to see if I could gain some of that authority or influence to actually make the change now, because sitting down in a studio and just building beats, it ain't making the change I want to make.
Yeah, very reminiscent of a fellow named Roger Israel. Yeah. So it's surreal here in some of this, So going to that rhythm, the first big one you say is Kan Kan.
Kan Kan was my first rhythm. Yeah.
So second star, that was Ayo, that was the one.
Ayo.
Yeah. So how are you coming up with that? Because before then he doing things and stuff. What is like creating the first hit for somebody who coming in?
Second star is a big writer, He actually is one of the greatest writers I know, and his ideas, I think he has a pool of ideas that all sound culturally appropriate and that could work, right? And him as an artist was still developing at that point. So he was helping me in certain regards in terms of he knew a lot of DJs, so we would have make some connections and we could have get some stuff played. Okay. And then I would have had a studio and I would have been able to produce him. So while he was learning his artistry, he was helping me get into the industry more. So it was definitely a symbiotic relationship, and it worked in our favor. So I didn't really make or boss second star. It's the teamwork that created the environment for both of us to reach. Because I boss same year.
Good.
So that was the first rhythm I've ever done, and that was a major success.
Yeah.
So I have to thank him for that, for sure.
That's good. And it's when you say symbiotic relationship, when you think of who your parents are, so who could write that script? That so many years after the children of two grades could come together and something. True.
But when you really look at it, I think it's inevitable. Like naturally, if you keep going on a road of music or creativity, you will bounce up more people and creativity and music. It's just natural. But if I decided, I'm going to do this maths and I'm going to work, I would have never meet second star. I would have never be where I am now today. I mean, I wouldn't be vexed, but, I had to take the opportunity and try and leave my job at that point when my son was born. And yeah, it wasn't the traditional decision to make, but it's the best decision of my life.
Got it.
Never regret it. I'll never regret that.
So what's your feeling when that rhythm, you're seeing it getting legs and it going now?
Oh, it's a nice feeling.
Yeah.
It's one of the nicest feelings. But you know what feeling came right after? Wait, boy, I had to do this again.
Oh, the pressure of repeating it? Serious?
Yeah.
But you put it down yourself.
I know, but that's a human reaction. It's like as soon as you get, it's like, wait, boy, people loving you, people saying, wait, congratulations and things. But then it's like, what am I going to do next year? And then, boy, Trinidad real unforgiving to the point where last year was last year, we don't care. And then the year after, I didn't do as well. The year after that, I didn't do as well. Yeah. I was surviving and I was still doing, but then Folklore came out and then, the acclaim come back. Nice. And then the year after, I didn't do that well. And then So and then I found a way where I've collaborated with so many people that every year is kind of always get one in the pocket. So like Come Home, we did a major collaboration with Kyle and Mevon and them.
Right.
Bossed was with Keegan and so forth. So I learned how to spread it out so that you have more eggs in the basket.
Right.
And not to just put everything on yourself, but at the same time not take it so personally when something doesn't work. It's a lot of pressure, and I can imagine for the artists too, because the artist in the forefront. You can imagine you have a huge year and then nobody calling you for shows the next year. That's pressure.
You know, I never really thought about that from a producer standpoint. My assumption is that artists go through that. So that I look at Nadia this year, for instance, I can't understand it. It's not something I could understand, because I feel like if in any career, you could reach a point where you're so established in what you do that people call you for that. And except soca and calypso. And if you don't have a song, people like... That's it. And I always used to think, like, in the background, at least you still selling the rhythms. You know, you're consistent every year regardless. And the artist might... So Nadia might be there, but Kit Israel there every single year. That is not the case.
But the average person don't know me. The average person doesn't care of who Kit Israel is. Like, people think the artist produce the rhythms.
Yeah,
and write the songs and sing all the art. Like, like, dog, I could tell you honestly, and when we was doing Hello, he came by me, I think it was like 10 in the night. We ended up finished recording 3, 4 in the morning. He fall asleep on the couch and I record in backgrounds while it is he sleeping, and he and I wrote the song.
Right.
And I mixed that song over and over and over. Casey Phillips had helped me at that point mixing the song. And the amount of energy and work goes into it. I'm sure people think Kes wrote the song for himself and produced it and played the guitar. And
people will think that.
Yeah. I mean,
as a fan, you kind of think that. You connect with the artist.
Yeah. You don't and at the end of the day, they might see my name on our credits, but my name isn't next to Kes when he goes and performs.
Of course.
So they're not gonna know.
Yeah,
but the pressure is still there. It's still there because I've released 4 or 5 rhythms a season and none worked.
Yeah.
And that is not a great feeling. Oh my goodness. Stomach's on a bubble right now. It is not a great feeling.
So let me ask you just a random question, right? But you say you're never sure when you have something, because this thing about holding back. So you hear artists or producers sometimes say, you have a song here, and you say, boy, I will hold back that for next year or the season after. That hold back is about what? Is about...
From my interpretation of it, people usually hold back songs when they already have one for the season, right? Meaning the artist, if they have a big song for the season or something that getting them bookings, it doesn't make sense releasing a second one because it's going to conflict with the first one, and they might actually conflict to the point where they might actually lose attention from the first song. Yeah. So like when Teja released DNA, he didn't have to release any other song. I think that song just and it just like
never stopped.
Yeah. So he probably had songs that he could have released, but he held it back. So in that regard, I understand releasing too many songs is going to be convoluted to a point where the radio can't play all of your songs.
Right.
So having 2 or 3 songs is sufficient for most artists.
Oh, wait. So it's a marketing thing more or
less? Yeah.
So from a producer standpoint, you ain't doing too much of that. If you build 5 rhythms, you're shopping that, because Mevon say when he put out 5 rhythms, because he have 5,000 he working on every day. So
well, Mevon does have too much rhythms. He just build beats every day.
You're not working at that rate.
I see it as music is usually meant for now, and the energy I have now needs to come out now. So if I finish, it's coming out. And if I don't finish it, then it goes on to next year. But if I finish it, it had to come out, because the sound of today isn't necessarily the sound of tomorrow. And the way I would produce stuff isn't going to be the same that I would produce it now.
I'm with you. So you're working at second stand now, Kan Kan Riddim. Who else on the rhythm?
Flippo was on our rhythm. Darnella, she was a young artist at that point, and she got a real good season from that. Well, Flippo is now Azaria.
You're right.
He goes by Azaria now. Benjai was on that, so Phenomenal was on that, which was a huge fat song. Actually, Destra was supposed to be on it, but Darnell ended up singing that song.
I see.
Yeah.
So how are you connecting with people at that point in time? So you're known in the industry,
message and hope for the best. Yeah. Even to this day, you send a message and you're not sure to get a response.
Yeah. Same with me, yeah.
And I know people busy.
Yeah, of course, it is what it is.
Right?
Yeah.
But come on. I message you 3-4 times in the space of 4 months. At least say, yo, I'm not interested, you know what I mean?
Yeah, sounds familiar.
So we just had to throw our pride out the window. Like, if I was to say, that person didn't messaging me, so I ain't messaging them. Now I get no songs.
Yeah.
But then some songs you're right, and then it sounds so much like the person I have to get it. Like, it's not even about me anymore. It's about the song. And if this person don't sing the song, nobody else going to be able to pull off the song. So actually, I have one song like that now that I'm running behind an artist, trying to get, because only one artist could pull it off.
This is 2026?
For 26, yeah.
Got it. So Kes Folklore and thing, that was like that? Is it that you have it written and you want him, or how that come about?
No, he and I wrote that together. I sent him the beat, he gets some ideas, I had some ideas, we merged the ideas together. Right. So that was actually an easy process with Kes.
Oh, it wasn't bad?
It wasn't bad. Turner, I just meet Turner, I love Turner because he just come out of She Bad and them kind of thing. And I just love his voice. And I was just like, yo, yeah, cool. He on the rhythm one time. That was super easy as well. Right. Second star, he was around, so like family. So he was on the rhythm. So the three of them came out on the rhythm. Nadia, however, we released the rhythm. The same night, Nadia called me and said, Kit, send me the rhythm. She got an idea. She recorded it the next day, sent me the vocals the following day. We released the song right after, the same 2 days after. Yeah. So Nadia got in contact with me for that because she loved it so much. And I love her song on that. Yeah. Catching Feelings. That was a real nice song on that.
Yeah. But Hello Runaway.
Well, yeah.
You know, it's funny, like when I hear you talk about Calypso and what you're doing now with Calypso, hearing Hello the first time, we are a little parang side, it's a rum side, we just play music and thing, and we always complaining that modern music is difficult to play. Acoustic and box bass and them kind of thing. Whether it's lyrically, some of it don't have a lot lyrically. Yeah. Some of it musically, it's boring to play. If you find a lot, we went through an era where music used to stick on one chord. It was a rhythm, and there's no chord changes or anything. Yeah. So a couple of things there, like both that Kan Kan and that Folklore, reminiscent again of that Tambu period of music, but also that Bajan invasion. Yeah. The swing and the feel and the groove. Deliberate for you in terms of how you approach music?
Nah, it wasn't. I didn't think about music when I did music. I just kind of did whatever felt right. And because I grew up on R&B and these kind of things, I love pretty melodies. I love like nice fat chords and then harmonies. I love to I talk about like 5-6 different types of harmonies on each part. So that was just part of me. I didn't really think about it. Like most of what I do with music is not a conscious thing. Like I actually try to remove thought out of music. As soon as somebody comes in the studio and say we need to make a hit, please leave. Yeah. Like I wouldn't say it that way. Yeah, but it's just like, yo, like come on, your focus isn't the music. Your focus is your success. And that throws me off to a point where a lot of people do that because of course there's a pressure of having to repeat the success they would have had. But when I'm in the studio by myself and I'm working on projects, I don't think I think. I stop thinking, like, when you get in a state of flow, it just happens. And those are usually the best projects I've ever had. And once I keep that consistency of it, I'll keep loving it and I'll keep doing it regardless of how successful it is. Yeah. And so far it seems to be working.
It's weird working because that rhythm is forever music. You have an uncanny way of making
classics.
Everything on the rhythm is a classic. When you hear Turner, I had a Turner here and we were talking about that, and Turner voice is something else.
Boy, his voice
style and voice, and I don't know what he's different. So the elements of the thing, and again, people who know Kaiso, that the strum pattern as well as the chord structure for that is a real old Calypso written there, so you could play. I like that because now when I go and parang somewhere in Valencia and I played, then I did very much close.
We're talking higher then. Yeah, come and play a little something, yeah.
David, we have opportunities.
No, the next conversation we talk about our own rhythm that we release.
Oh, beautiful, David, we're getting somewhere. Yes, I mean? Money make it.
Well, we don't know how much money can make.
Oh shit, I forget. I'm not supposed to say the money part. No, the music
music making.
Yeah, but the thing about it is like I could drop a hello in the mix then. That is a 1-4-5 chord pattern. 1-4-1-5.
I can't even speak that language.
Yeah.
I don't know 1-4-5.
So should I bring the quattro? Because it is plenty old Kaiso, old. Right. That's one of the most, like a staple. Yeah. It's one of the first things you will learn when you play an instrument.
And I didn't know that, and I didn't think of it at that point. I really think I was put to calculate I'm a catalyst of change. And though I didn't grow up on Calypso like a lot of people did, it doesn't mean I can't influence the change that the Calypso needs. And I think the position I'm in now is giving me the opportunity to teach how we could enhance Calypso. So what you're talking about there, I wish I knew. But I think if I knew it, I wouldn't have approached it the same way.
Yeah, no, I'm feeling like you shouldn't know. You just so keep doing what you're doing. Yeah, in my mind, you had to connect them things, and maybe it's not conscious. It's not conscious. Because that is amazing to hear.
Yeah, like when I actually got a beat yesterday to write a song for artists, right?
Sure.
When I hear the beat, I don't think about it. I just take out my watch and I just record the first idea that come to it. I never recorded any whole thing. The artist take the song already. Yeah, that was yesterday.
Serious?
Yeah. And the song is actually a real good song. Like, the song actually is vibes. But if I thought about it, like, if I thought, no, this artist needs to sing it this way and this artist needs to present herself this way, I wouldn't get the same song. And then when I sit down and I demo the song, I didn't even write. I just kind of freestyle line by line or two lines and say exactly what it is I need to. And I think that process is the spiritual process of it. And we remove it now because, like, when we build a beat, we send it to artists, they say, nah, it needs to go in this direction because it needs to hit this way and it needs to think. And you're removing the spirit out of the music. And now I think as AI and all this technology, people are really trying to reconnect with humanity and spirituality where it feels right again. Nothing to me, like a lot of music coming out, it don't feel right. Like, unless it's organic, unless it's starting to have a little human error in it, it don't feel right. It feel like you're giving this laminated kind of piece of plastic and tell me eat that. Yeah, you would die if I keep eating plastic. Yeah. You know what I mean? I mean, literally. But
of course. So, yeah, I appreciate you for saying that because it's something that I think as somebody who plays music, I feel it sometimes. I wonder sometimes if this is AI, not fully written, but I was almost like if you take all the human elements or you take all the spirit out of it. You know, once the first thing is happening is you like this song and you may connect it, but you can't remember it. There's nothing that you hold on to. There's no story, there's no connection, there's no true line.
Is like music is vibration, right? And I don't want to get too technical because I know
we're here for that.
To be technical.
Yeah, man.
The vibration of music and even the mixing, right? Where how the bass and the sub hits or the top end hits or the harshness or whatever the case is. The vibration in music moves our cells. And the cells itself moves our entire being, right? If it is you do an AI song and it have these calculations where it's so exact to a point, it's not going to have the randomness of human. And I think we have to get back to that point where we start to love music to get back the human in it. And people might be like, you're talking madness. I could just think ChatGPT and it could give me a whole beat and I could think and I could be a millionaire. If your focus is being a millionaire and it's not about the music,
go for it.
God bless. God bless. I can't see that surviving because everybody could do that. And if you could bring back spirituality into music, you would separate yourself from the rest of people immediately. And I think that's the best investment we should go into.
I had the last Calypso Monarch as one of the better ones in some years. And a couple of these songs, when I hear them, the song, you use the word plastic. I like that word. It sounds very plastic.
Yeah.
And deep theories and good reasoning and nice words, but very plastic. It's not connected. And I say, you know what, let me try something. Let me go in ChatGPT and ask it to write my Calypso Monarch. And I went through it. It's what is some of my favorite monarchs. I'll do a lot of prompting to figure it out. And listen, the song it right real good. It good. And it give me chord structures and how to sing and a little bridge and everything. And I say, but wait, why wouldn't I do that if I am a writer? Why wouldn't I just and I feel like a lot of it happening. But you still staying grounded in what you do. It's feel for you first.
It's feel before anything. I think the spirituality of everything comes, the energy and the universe, it comes before everything, right? Technology going to evolve and it's going to be a part of our life. Like, no doubt about it. But we can't become dependent on it where it is we lose humanity from it. Because if it's as easy as just plugging in a little prompt and getting a full song, I would not be interested in music anymore. Sure. I would not be interested. But music is not only just a business for me, it's life. It's like, after my children is music. Actually, maybe before my children.
This is getting wild.
They're going to look back at this interview and say, yeah, Daddy, I was in the studio.
I guess, yeah, they might say that.
They would say that. I mean, if one of them get into music, oh, good, I'll go be glad.
Yeah, serious.
But I would never force them into it, and they would find their own passion. And I know people, they say, Kit, you get lucky because you found your passion early. I don't think I had a choice. It was the direction of where my love went.
Sure.
And I think a lot of us start to focus on the responsibilities of life where we lose the passion, and then that's why we have a lot of grumpy people walking around. We have a lot of hurt people hurting people.
Sure.
So it's really about not just changing Calypso, but it's changing life. Like, I think if we could get back and love ourselves, not just as ourselves personally, but ourselves as a country, we could start to treat people better and we could start to actually dominate. Like, every time a Trinidadian goes anywhere, we dominate. But we become tricky Dadians where we take advantage of people and it becomes a situation where nobody wants Trinidadians
involved. Of course,
involved.
we build a brand for that.
Yeah, I've been in rooms in the States where they don't want to work with Trinis.
Serious.
Yeah, and this is in the music industry, and it's a little unfortunate that I have to sell something different, and because they meet me and it's like, oh wait, you're so helpful and you so this and you ting and just send me whatever, and it's like they don't have that experience with most Trinidadians because Trinidadians just go there and they think that we could take advantage or we could manipulate or we could, and it's like, dog, let me just help others and they would help us as well. And what I've realized, the best way for you to make money is to make somebody else money. If I bring in money to you, you don't think you'll call me every single day if I'm bringing money to you? Like, that makes sense to me.
Of course.
It's just logic, it's maths, right?
Yeah.
But if I'm thinking, let me go by you and let me get money from you.
Yeah, extract.
You're extracting, you're not putting anything into anybody.
Get you from a society extraction and we going down the mode
Yeah,
now
but-
because we just take all your oil out of the ground, sell it for peanuts.
Yeah, but we could extract in a way where it's mutually beneficial.
Yeah, and replenish.
Yeah, like I'm telling you, if I can make money for you from this podcast, boom,
Yeah.
1 million views. They put it out there,
Sure.
1 million views, right? You make a little money from this podcast. You gonna call me back,
Of course.
yeah,
of
right?
course.
And I'm coming back.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the day, we might actually work on a song and we might actually think and build a relationship from that. And we don't know what could happen. But if we just pick up and say, well, I could just use Kit for an interview, I could just use thing, and then we never talk again until the next pregnancy photo shoot.
Soon.
And it would be every man for itself, for themselves, and then it doesn't really cultivate a culture of unity and growth. We can't grow by ourselves. We could reach fast by ourselves, but we never reach far.
Yeah, funny you should say that because you are the center of one of them songs that describe that perfectly because we had a pinnacle of soca and we had a man who come up through a whole different path and become another pinnacle. We had a twin peaks at a time, this Bunji and Machel. And I think the fans wanted it. You were seeing it in the Instagram comments because they had teased the idea of working together and but they were seen as enemies. They were seen as two people who had loggerheads.
Yeah.
And then almost on social media too, it was announced that they're going to work together. What was the original bus head? How you get involved in the project?
All right. I actually went down by Kenny Phillips' studio, and I knew Keegan at that point, right? And he's like, wait, but he wanted to work with Machel and do a song. The funny part of it, he said he wanted to do a song with Machel. That's what he wanted to do. And my response was, okay, I want to become a friend of Machel because I feel like nobody's come to him and want to help him. Everybody's come and want to extract from him. And I told him, I say, I'll go do this song with you and we go sing it, but I want to be around him and help him, right? I know it sounds very corny, but you could ask Keegan, right? And we end up sitting down making the song and building the beat, and I end up getting tum 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 tum. Oh yeah, right. So, and he was like, boy, this have a kind of dark feel, boy, make him feel like. And Keegan wasn't stick fighting, so then he started to go down the route in terms of the writing of like we do it like a stick fighting song, and he ended up coming up with the idea of bosshead and all these different things, and then we wrote it together. And strangely enough, we wrote the whole thing and we pitched it to him, and he sat down on it for a couple of days, and he's like, just saying something. He like, it's not like a big fat song, but it's a cultural moment. And he's stick fighting and he could see the visuals and all this, but he says something missing. And he said, hold on, I'll get back to you. And when he was in Barbados, he said, I just get the call. Galen say he on the song.
Is Keegan?
Yeah. No, this was Machel.
Machel said, oh, so you didn't know that he was going to approach Galen?
We didn't know. We didn't know. Well, from my memory, you know, again also, you know. And when he said that, we thought Galen would write over his parts. Galen actually sang the parts that we gave him, which is rare because Galen, though he's write all this stuff, he don't take nothing from anybody. And it became this cultural staple. It wasn't like massive, like, you know, like a boss or one of these things. But it was a moment where stick fighting, which was very cultural to us. The two of them coming together was a big moment. The aggression and the realness of the song was saying what it needed to say. And we missing songs like that overall. But the whole project was a serious opportunity. Like, I learned a lot from Machel. I helped as much as I could. Keegan got this song.
Right. Yeah.
You know, everybody went from it, and I think it put all of us in a better position. Yeah. You know, the hope would be to do more culturally appropriate songs. Like, I don't really care about like big songs. I want songs that saying something more than anything, because those songs would last longer, as well as it would inspire people to take more risk with the music. Because if all of us sing like a boss, like we're just singing like a boss over and over and over and over, and
you will enjoy the carnival the same.
I mean, people would still, drink and party.
Yeah, well, I guess the drinking go help.
Yeah,
I suppose that is always help. That solve a lot of problems.
Yeah.
Don't put that out there. I didn't say that, right? But yeah, I think what you say is the way I saw it as well. I think it was a kind of iconic moment that will be looked at forever. It's forever. And nothing better than a stick fighting kind of theme because of the energy between two of them was the kind of rivalry, which stick fighting is competition and Bussed and is love. You know, if you go to a stick fighting competition, Keegan and them deeply rooted in it. And
well, we went 1 or 2. That was the first time I ever went, and that is aggressive.
Yeah, it's a lot for me. Like, a lot for me to digest.
I was like, yo, these fellas are trying to kill each other.
I thought it was a game.
Yeah, I thought so. I thought it was like wrestling. Like,
exactly.
Nah, man, leave it no Bussed.
It's a lot. Another song I have in mind to get to is Olatunji. Olatunji for a long time for me a very significant cultural moment too, because Ola again from you know, good stock, good parents, you know, come from it, and it was somebody who you see doing a lot, and then all of a sudden you're hearing from Ola and show where he is and what he doing and what he up to from a fan perspective, and then he kind of altered the blade, just said that Ola. And it almost felt like a signature moment, maybe because his song was he saying his name, but it felt like a moment where he just stamped himself and he's just established from that point.
You know, he didn't write that song at all.
No,
it was me and two of my other brethren.
So you have it in mind? Well, obviously it's for him.
Nobody else could sing it. Yeah, nobody else could, unless it's a Spanish artist and we put an H in front of it, maybe. But it was definitely for him.
So why Ola at the time? Why you felt like he's the right person and why you want to approach him?
That's just where the idea came. The idea just came out. You know what this song is about? I have to ask you. Do you know?
No.
Listen to the actual lyrics, right? The song is actually a sex song. It's really about the girl climaxing and saying, "Oh my goodness," and she ball out, "Ola," to grab on the thing like "Ola," and she ball out, "Ola, Ola,
I like
Ola, Ola."
I could get Corie in that. It fits in.
So the context was very risky, but we played it off in a very, very playful way where the Ola is like hello in Spanish. Of course, it's a very easy word to say as well too, is his name. So a lot of context kind of came into it. But yeah, it's a sex song.
Yeah. Other people know this. I see only
I don't know, but they go no. They go no.
Yeah. When you approach him with it, he going.
He went through. That was the first time I worked with Ola as well.
Yeah.
Too. And he went through 100. And Ola, I think, is probably one of the most talented artists, and he should be accredited a little more. But I know Ola is going through his stuff, and then he's have his year, and then he don't have his year, and he's have his year. And Ola needs a proper team that would always be there to defend him personally and business-wise. Yeah. And I think that's what's, it keeps changing. So, but Ola himself, one of the greatest.
Yeah, phenomenal talent. Once in a generation kind of talent. Yeah. In terms of the way he's carry a song, the way he's perform it. Like, most recently I was watching Engine Room. And I was in a fete in the Oval, boy. And that's when I understood. I mean, when you hear this song, you know it's going to win, right? When I see him come on that stage, I think it was a Carrie People Fete, and you see young people and the way they latch on to Engine Room and things, it's something else to see. His own audiences.
And he have a zartiness. That's what he just say. He have a zartiness among with him, and like his presence, he could just, you know what it is? Like you see the character or the caricature. There's like this. It is not average human on stage anymore. Like you could see the entertainment flowing out of him now. And I wish like things could streamline a little better for him. But nah, Ola is one of the greatest.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Life. But the thing about him is even when you see him in the streets, as you say, he's like, "Tada!" He's like,
"Tada!" Yeah. He's answering the phone. "Tada!" Now I answer the phone when he calls. "Tada!"
That's influence, right? They can't be that. Another
That's
one,
branding, dog.
Yeah, like it's the same thing you're saying about the look, eh? Yeah. When you start here talking about the look of a Calypso, Ola is just come from that.
He has it as well.
For sure. Another man who stamped his name and you'll tell me how you involved in it and how much work you contribute to it is Ding Dong.
Oh, okay. Ding Dong is an interesting one. Ding Dong, I didn't really know Ding Dong before Drink and Party, right? The song itself was actually written to give to Machel, right? Machel sit on it for a few months. He's like, he's not sure, ting, and who you gonna give it to? I said, well, I never worked with Ding Dong, so I wanted to.
Oh, he not sure, but he want to know who you're gonna give it to.
Yeah. I said, I'm gonna give it to Ding Dong. He said, all right. It's a serious song, It's a serious song. And I ended up giving Ding Dong sing it, and I think it meshed so perfectly. Because, of course, we changed lyrics and we make it match the mood. And Ding Dong had hits before. Like, he hits where it is he was an artist. Like people start to believe he's an artist, right? Because remember he came from the DJing and whatever.
Right.
And he had some hits with Teja and whatever the case is. And when that song come out, that changed his career, you know. It's the amount of shows he get. And though it wasn't like the major streaming song, but in terms of every part Ding Dong was in, it was like I could cuss on this. It was like dog shit in the rain. He was everywhere. He was everywhere now. And that totally changed like how people view Ding Dong. That's the first time I ever worked, and strangely enough, every time I work with somebody for the first time, it usually gives them a one-up, which is really weird. So I'm working with voice for the first time, so let me see how that one go, right? And the song itself, amazing. Like it totally took a different direction for his performances, for his image, for all of these different things. Ding Dong is such a lovable character where he's just so easygoing and he's so carefree. And that's what's pleasant about his attitude and his persona. Boy, it was a good relationship with it. We're gonna work on more songs, of course. But I don't know if you get another drink and party. But the aim is always to be as open and keep the good energy within. And the song will come out however we need it to come out.
The thing is, like, you saying this, right? And again, I'm going back to where we start when you're talking about the brand, the look, and what the Calypso is. And Ding Dong is another one who is...
All of them have it, you know. But we're not paying attention to it. All we're paying attention is, how do I get on stage and how do I get bookings?
Well, we could understand why. You break it down before, you know. You could understand what drives
like I'm not judging anybody for what they're doing.
What we're trying to figure out is the why, you know. Once we get the why, we can fix some of the things, you know.
It's just we're going to have to change the point of view a little bit and the direction so that we can get a better result. Right now, the result is okay and people surviving. But in order to change, you have to scrap everything and start over. And I wouldn't want to change soca for what it is. Soca is festival music. Keep that as carnival music and whatever. We need soca. But we need something to establish us on a level that shows our royalty.
Sure.
It shows our talent and it shows our ability outside of just bikinis and whining in the street and drinking.
I'm with you. And even when you say festival music, like in mid-80s or that time I talking about drink and party would be a calypso, eh? That would have never be defined as soca. So I hear any
but we use a lot of modern like words, phrases, melodies and that shouting.
Well, it would be modern when them fellas sing it. We listen to it as we listen to calypso now as old, but it would be up to date.
That's true. It would have been modern then. You're right. Yeah.
So you don't drink and party, right?
No.
So where the hell you getting this energy? You write it.
Yeah, I wrote it with Jelani and Ding Dong was there too and one of my other brothers.
Where you finding the spirit, that drink and party spirit? Because Ding Dong, that drink and party in particular, you see when Cooler Fete ain't pick up yet and everybody's still feeling like they have on their clothes and the Adam and Eve thing when you don't know you're naked yet and
right.
That is one of them that's just tipped the party over the head. So where you getting that vibe from top to right?
I hear that on a big truck at time. That thing's so amazing. I was proud of myself. I was like, yo, when you hear party, and the boy, that was just like, yo. But to be honest, I used to drink and party.
All right.
So I have a little soul. But I realized I need to keep myself open as a vessel of, I believe ideas come from the universe and all of us get ideas. Like, ever realize how some years that people sing about the same topics and they haven't communicated with each other? I think we all get ideas, but whoever acts upon it will win. Right? So we could, I get so much ideas, business ideas and creative ideas, but I never act on it. And then you Google something and then you realize somebody just invented this. So I think we are vessels for information by the muse, the ultimate muse, which is the universe. And it is up to you to act upon it. So if drink and party fall into my lap,
you're working on it.
I'm working on it.
Thanks for working on that. I go pick up the slack where you're leaving back with the drinking and party.
Another good example is I never play mass. Like, I used to take pictures and stuff on the road, but never play mass. And an idea came to me to make a song called Won't Cry, right? You would understand what I mean. Is the first time I touch the stage again, it's such an experience that it makes me cry. I promise I won't cry the first time I touch the stage. That song ended up being Come Home.
Oh, serious?
So I started that song as a small demo and I sent it to Mevon. And I say I want people to cry when it is they touch the stage again. But I want them to say it in a way where I'm so strong, I won't cry, but they're crying at the same time. You know that feeling like, I promise I won't cry, but they're crying, right? So the song actually started off I promise I won't cry the first time I touch the stage. That actually is at the end of the song. But then formulating the song and then Jeff was getting included in writing it and so forth. All of the pieces start to come together and it starts to tell the story. So that was one of the ideas that just kind of came to me. Like, I wanted to make a song in that direction. And
you see the comments on that, because Mevon spoke about it. And you saw the comments on that? You also will check them comments. You know when people say they just cry?
Well, it wasn't me, it was the muse. So that's what I say. It's like, there's no way I could say, I want people to cry and I'm gonna make this and it's gonna be successful. And all I just welcome I know people might say, boy, is that energy, man, and is that this? It's not really that. It's some things work for me and it's a pattern of working, and I realize me being open to certain things has proven to work in my favor. So why would I close off myself, right? I didn't go into the intention of making the whole world cry. I went into the feeling that, what if we did a song that could make people feel this way? That's it. I didn't expect the song to get so big. I really didn't know where it would have gone. It was real plenty R&B melodies and real thing, and it was like people saying the song in too white or it's song in too
I hear some of the references thanks to Mevon. It's crazy what you all start with to where you end up with.
Yeah.
I was asked Mevon this if he was here as well, but how you get despondent because Mevon spoke about sending it to this one, and not working.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
I do. But I think I've learned where I don't take it personally anymore now. Send it, all right, it's not for them. Right. The song does always find a home. Drink and party, it found its home. Like, Take Me Home, right? I started working on a song with like Freetown 2 years back or so. And we have it, and it was okay, right? It's a vibe or whatever the case is. But then we end up coming back and then we end up doing Take Me Home. The right moments always happen. But if we are so forceful in our action where we decide when is the right moment, we throw off the right moment. We just have to let it flow. We just have to let it become its right moment. And a lot of people don't understand that. Sure. So men might turn down songs that's for them and then not realize that could have been their song. And then come back and say, boy, I get you one, you know.
I don't have the humility for that. I don't be waiting for men next year. Like, me sending it back nothing.
No. I would still work with them. I don't have a problem. It's just they miss the opportunity. Of course. And people think it's me saying, you know, I giving you this up. It's not me, dog. It's the universe saying this is an opportunity. If you want it, you can be part of the mission or you could be part of it. If you don't, then that's okay too. Somebody else will get it. And I have no problem. Like if these new smallest artists come and bust now offer the song that I give to the biggest artist, I'm glad. The song came to life. It gave somebody a career. It made sense. But a lot of people, so they're just scared. They're really just scared of, they're not sure if it will work. They're not sure if people will take it.
They're
not
taking
sure
a risk, yeah.
But the number one thing I would say is, next year nobody gonna care, dog. Trinidad, after a week, they just forget. So release your crap song, and then release our next one.
Yeah, see what happens.
If 9 of them is crap and one work, nobody gonna remember the 9.
Yeah, of course. So you're talking about the festival music as well, and how soca is that. But anxiety is unique from that standpoint because it's in a festival, it's a staple now, it's forever music too. But the story behind that and what happened, you know, with Ricardo Drew at the time and that song, you're talking about making people cry. That was one of them moments too. So how that came about? What was the story there?
That song was totally Patrice. Meaning we came for a session and we had different ideas on one of the cases. And then Mill Beats ended up playing these chords. And Patrice was like, oh, I like this. So he's like, okay, let me follow. She was sipping on a little drink or whatever.
Right.
And she was talking. So she was a little talkative because of the drink. And she started to express what she was going through. And anxiety came up. And she started to say how she was suffering from certain things. And I and all didn't even realize that she felt that way because I just work with Patrice on a professional level. So it's just X, Y, and Z, and that's it. And then understanding it. And everybody in the room could have felt, wow, this is important. This is very important to her, and this is very important not just for her, but a lot of people go through this but never speak about it.
Right.
So we just end up started freestyle some melodies. So I went in the booth and I freestyled some melodies. We ended up getting the song for anxiety. It was totally on Patrice's energy. And then we trying to paint it in a way where, you know, soca and carnival save us. You know what I mean? Anxiety, we suffer from this. But then when we get on the road and we party and we enjoy it, it helps us feel a little better. So that was the whole concept of it. And the video came out amazing. Everything came out amazing.
Right.
But nobody could have predicted what happened with Drew. And that was like, I don't know what happened, but it happened, and then that gave the song a different meaning. And people would say we're in Jumbie thing, because how you could sing a song about that a few months before and then this happened, and it's just like, yo, nobody could have planned that, and nobody would have wanted it. It's just, it happened, and that's how it happened, and the universe made it happen that way. Yeah. And so that boy, every time I think about it, I just get chills. I get chills about it.
Yeah, it speaks to just what you were saying in terms of the universe, or you being a vessel, because again, I was telling everyone this. If you ask fans, they are going to think you made the song about him personally.
How? How? Like think about it.
Just like when you tell them you made it before, what will happen over the years? When you tell them it happened, the song was before, people will say, oh, they lie.
We lie.
Yeah, for sure. Because
boy.
it's just too much of a coincidence. And I remember seeing her performing it at her show.
Tough year, boy.
Yeah, I would imagine. So what you going through as an individual and dealing with that and seeing what the song does, is it? Are you feeling that same good feeling as Kan Kan or Folklore, and you're feeling that
in terms of
song, in terms of the song taking off at that point in time? But
it's
sort
anxiety?
of bittersweet, yeah.
Anxiety. I think we were just trying to be there for Patrice. So once again, it didn't matter about the success. I didn't see what it would have done or what it would have become. Or it's more of being present for somebody that you care about. And I know I sound cheesy when I speak, but I'm being very, very serious with it. And because of that, I think it gave us the success, because it was about she taking care of us and we taking care of her.
Sure.
Yeah. It was not about the song becoming successful.
Okay. I don't find the song cheesy at all. Let's just tell you, because I expected. I always be shocked as hell when I get answers here. I'll be honest, because the way you do songs so deliberate. I would have thought that when I come to talk to kids, this is what I have in my mind the first time I asked you to come here. I say, kid, listen to real old Calypso and no real old thing, and he just connecting dots here and making a modern version of it. So to hear, I was going to send you a whole set. I'm sending you nothing again. You just continue channeling. Channeling?
You don't need to send nothing. Come with your quattro.
I'm going to learn to play between now and then.
Yes.
So Calypso is coming up. There are two questions I want to close on. I appreciate you talking about the name AdvoKit and what the meaning behind it is. And so much of what you do, especially when you're talking casually about being there, pivotal moments in several artists' career and how it switches. What next year and thing looking like? Because we're in a space where, as you said, you're only as good as your last hit.
Yeah.
You're not sure that you have anything next year. I hope the residuals, or whatever you call it, between the royalties, the Spotify money, I hope it's doing good for you in perpetuity. But how are you feeling about next year and your chances?
All right, next year is a big one, right? In many regards, and I have no idea what's gonna work, what's not gonna work. But I'm turning 40 just now. So it's a big year for me personally. And I said I wanted to take more risk, right? Get out there a little more, expand, do all these different things. With the Calypso brand and with the Calypso vision, that's one of the ideas that I had for a few years, and it just reached a point, I'm reaching 40 and let me do it, because nobody gonna do it for me, so let me do it. In terms of the Calypso event, we're getting a lot of attention, real positive. Yeah, like I ain't even gonna lie, I am shocked. And I think that's going to it could become a staple where we could repeat it and bring culture back into it in a different way, instead of just drinking and partying right through purposelessly, but without purpose.
So close.
Right? So that one I'm proud of already.
Right.
Although the event isn't until next week. I'm proud of it already. So that one I feel pretty good and successful about.
And that's something you intend to evolve. You say starting with the fashion, it goes somewhere else after that, like a different aspect of it?
The genre of establishing the genre of what Calypso is another part of it, as well as in setting the culture of it. And even not just the culture, but the standardization of the culture as well too, because business-wise, we don't want Calypso to fall into what soca Wild Wild West is. Okay. We don't want it to just be this kind of rah kind of thing.
Understood.
So in terms of the fashion show, I'm really, really like excited about it, and I feel successful already. In terms of the music, I know it's going to be a little harder push, but when you hear these songs, I think people would understand. And I think people would jump on board because it speaks more than just Carnival, and it speaks more than just us. It speaks of where we should have been now.
Right.
Like if we had take Calypso at a different level, Calypso could have been our Grammy. You know what I mean? Like but we let it slip. And I don't think we could afford to let it slip anymore. So the aim going forward is to make it work, of course. But as I say, I leave everything up to the universe. And we'll see. We can have another conversation after.
We're listening for voice here. We don't tell his voice already, so we're waiting to hear when that comes, I mean, we're excited about that.
That voice one very special.
As fans, yeah. I think the collaboration between the great producers and the great artists is something that we welcome as fans in the moment, but them things tend to last forever, so that's great.
Now, the mood of it is different, and it might take a few songs for people to get it, but I'm confident that something will change. Even if I am the catalyst and somebody else does something that inspires something else, at least the change happens. Because I can't sit down here and just be like, all right, let me just try and get hit next year and then...
So you don't do that road march thing, chasing your road march. You're a groovy man by design. You're not
100% groovy. I made one power rhythm long time ago. Failure.
It's like...
Failure. I don't think I understand power soca the way that it needs to be understood. And then because I sing so much pretty melodies, I don't have like that jump and wave kind of backhand in some of my stuff now. So to put a set of pretty melodies is not going to work alone. So when Jeffers came in, would come home, the pretty melodies work with the aggressive. So the nylon, the skinny work together. But if I was to do a power rhythm, I'm going to sound like Love and Butterflies, to be honest. It is something like mash up the stage.
Yeah, the aggression out it.
Yeah. So let me stick in my pocket. I'm proud of my little BPM.
Me too. So with AdvoKit meaning what it means, and you clearly live in that. What's the meaning of Kitwana?
Kitwana, from what I understand, means last son of the tribe.
Last son of the tribe.
Yeah. And weirdly enough, it happened to be so, right? My younger sister was the last, and I have 2 older siblings, and I'm the last son. Right? But the name AdvoKit, it was really a vision of helping, to speak on behalf of, and to protect and to defend. Yeah. And I didn't expect it to reach to this level, but you really should be careful what you name your stuff. So, because it does happen. But I've always appreciated and always been like, glad that my childhood was a little interesting to the point where I felt like I appreciated like Batman. Right. So Batman, yes, he's a vigilante, but he would help people, right? Might be a billionaire, I'm not a billionaire, not yet.
We get there.
Right. But help people, right? Yeah. And do it in a way where he stands by his morals and so forth. And I always felt like because certain things happen to me, I don't want things to happen to other people like that. So that's kind of where it came from. So I kind of have a superhero kind of complex when it comes to that.
I like that. We need saving.
I know, but sometimes, people take advantage of it and, you help too much and then they come and spit on you and then it just feel like, but I can't help but help. Yeah. And when bad things happen, the universe is find a way and bless me. Always. So whenever I bless somebody, it has always come back around. So I cool where it is. And the name AdvoKit, I wanted to survive and even for my kids to pick it up because we want to develop a culture of helping. And I think we're missing that a lot in the industry.
Yeah, Trinidadans are big on need that.
Yeah.
I appreciate you blessing us with your presence. I appreciate you coming through today. It's one of the deeper conversations I've had here. Take a mathematician, David. We had to get more mathematicians up here, you know what I mean?
I don't think you'll find any more mathematicians doing what we're doing now.
And the soca producer who is a borderline actuarial scientist, it's hard to find it. How you replicate that?
I don't know. But what I would say is everybody bring in their own flavor. I don't think you want any more me.
You don't want no more me. Last of the tribe, last son of the tribe. You say it.
Yeah, you don't want no more me in this industry. You need other things like a Mevon, a Kyle, a Nikolai, a Casey. They need to spread out. Yeah. But we need to spread out in a way where we could come together and work.
But it seems as though you're all doing that. You're all coming together. All these stories I hear. You have some of it. So
I had a real pressure them fellas because even before. We had set up like a producers group and then we were trying to do a producers union and do all these different things. And I realized I kind of doing everything and maybe let's bring it down to who interested. And then, Mevon and I and all of them, we work closely together anyway. Yeah. So we actually have a meeting just now.
Oh, that's good.
And to kind of figure out what songs we're doing for the season, who we pitching to and what the case is. But we need to develop a habit of it. We don't, because all of us are individuals at the end of the day. Everybody doing their own business however they want to do it. And if we could create the habit of it, we could create business out of it, we could create standards from it, and then we could teach the next generation of how it should be done.
Advocacy, it can be done.
Yeah.
I appreciate it, brother. So I don't go and David, we had to eat because kid don't eat. And he make me ain't eat at all before we start this thing. So we could eat.